Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Good Hang. Very excited about our guest today. It is the great Rachel Sennott, a super interesting, funny, charismatic actress, producer, writer. You know her from the film Shiva Baby, from Bodies, 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 from Bottoms. She has a new show that's out right now on HBO called I Love LA. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about so many things. Open mic nights. We're going to talk about TikTok and how to use it and work it and what we love about it. She's going to give me fashion advice, and she's going to give me reasons to love LA, which is what her show is all about. So, very great conversation. But before we get started, we always talk to someone who knows our guest, who can tell me something about our guest and give me a question to ask our guest. And we have another supremely talented, delightful young woman joining us today, Molly Gordon. Molly Gordon is an actor. You may know her from the hit show The Bear, where she plays Claire. She is Claire on The Bear. And she's in films such as Theater Camp and Oh Hi. She's super talented, and Molly is going to join us and give us some info about her buddy Rachel. Hi, Molly. Can you hear me? This episode of Good Hang is presented by Walmart Express Delivery, getting gifts to your doorstep in as fast as an hour. Who needs elves when Walmart Express Delivery can make Nespresso machines magically appear on your doorstep? And if you do happen to forget something, no judgment, you can even order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. Santa, you might want to take notes. Download the Walmart app or head to walmart.com and get your gifts delivered fast. Subject to availability, terms and fees apply. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, I've always seen you from afar, and I'm trying to send you very intense love, and I don't know if I've fully found my way over, but honestly, I've been listening to your podcast before I go to sleep. So you've been spending a lot of intimate time with me.
Oh, yay. That makes me feel happy. I'm so thrilled you wanted to talk today.
But I'm so excited to talk about my wife. So
she really is your wife. I was looking at the stuff that you and Rachel have done together and how long you've known each other, and you really are married, legally married.
We're legally married. She's my wife. We talk every single day.
Wow.
If one of us doesn't respond, we'll just keep calling, and it's hard to know when it's like an emergency or not, I would say with her. But yeah, she's an incredible human being, and you guys together is going to be magic.
Well, I'm thrilled to talk about her today with you, but before I do, let's not forget about Molly.
Okay.
What's Molly up to today?
I'm prepping a movie that I'm going to direct.
Fantastic.
That I'm actually going to send you, Amy, at some point, so we can.
Yeah.
And you have to tell me live on the podcast if you want to be a part of it or not. But I'm good. I made hot tea, and then I burned my whole mouth and then spit it out all over the computer, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Let's talk about tea for a second, because I'm a tea girl more than a coffee girl. Are you too?
I like tea. I violently wake up and I want 7 coffees, a matcha, then I have a tea around 3.
Okay, and what kind of tea do you like to drink?
So I love this hot cinnamon spice Harney and Sons tea, but usually English breakfast or a peppermint. You?
Thanks for asking. I enjoy, my favorite tea is an Irish tea called Barry's tea, which I highly recommend. And it's a black tea, and I don't like any other. I mean, maybe occasionally I'll do a peppermint, if I've had a big meal.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to chill out.
We needed to move through you in a way. Totally got it. Yeah,
totally. But I've switched entirely from. I used to be kind of a coffee person, and now I'm totally tea. And it's made a diff.
And do you feel like that's changed your whole personality?
It definitely has changed my stomach's personality, because I used to have to drink coffee like it was melted ice cream, like tons of cream and sugar.
Yes.
And now it's helped a lot to not have to get into that, just to have that much shit in my stomach.
To not have to go to the bathroom every moment. Totally. I moved back to New York, and I was like, oh, it's really fun to drink so much coffee and then be trying to make it home to your house. I was nostalgic living in LA for that am I going to make it home?
Yes. I mean, for people who, and this happens in a lot of cities, but like you get to know where you have to quickly go to the bathroom. You have to learn. And in Los Angeles, you're kind of in trouble. You spend a lot of time in your car.
It's tough. A Sweetgreen, they're pretty kind at a Sweetgreen, I do have to say.
They're sweet.
Yeah, they're sweet.
So when was the first time you met? Tell us about your meet cute of when you met your wife.
So I met my wife, Emmett Seligman, the director of Shiva Baby, had a set of breakfast for me and Rachel, and we all ate, and Rachel thought I was like a real actress because Rachel had just like been a stand-up, and she was asking me a lot like what it's like to be a real actress and lots of questions. And I was kind of like, I don't really get work. And like because I'd been in like one movie. But and then we read the script together, and she was so funny. And I had just never met like women my age that were that unapologetically ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Like she is so honest about what she wants in her life and like what she does, what she's trying to achieve, like what she does every day. And I would always hide that I wanted those things. And I feel like it was just so inspiring. But yeah, I agree. Like, I think she kind of showed me with that film, she was trying out so many different things. And, that movie's a lot about sexuality and all these things, but she just showed me you don't have to fit in like some box. She was like, sometimes I want to do this. Sometimes I want to do this. And like, I don't know. When I was thinking about what I wanted to ask her, I was like, how did you have that confidence? Like,
that's exactly what I wanted to start with but it's a funny question, right? I've been doing this podcast for a while, and there's people that come in and I want to say, how did you know what you knew? Like how did you get this sense of yourself? And it's a hard one to answer because sometimes it's just kind of the way that they came out into the world.
Totally. And she's still, speaking of what we're saying about containing multitudes, like she's still really vulnerable, but the first time I met her, Amy, she was like, I wrote 4 scripts. I'm doing this. I want to do this. And like, I had just never seen anyone act that way because you think, oh, that's like going to show that you have a big head or something. But it's like, no, she wants to create things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's, you can get into it with her, but it's like, yeah, she wants to create things and she wants to have great sex and she wants to have a great meal and she wants to cuddle with her friends. Like she wants all of those things. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you don't need to choose one lane to be in or something.
Shiva Baby was made for $200,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And how much did it end up making?
And that all went to me.
Yeah, your quote was $199,000.
Yeah, I had only worked a little bit, but my quote was, I don't know how much it made, but it definitely not that much because it came out in COVID. We do have to say, Emma and I and Rachel always laugh that the movie is huge in London.
Oh.
We don't think, a lot of people don't know it in the States, but in London, we're huge.
You walk around and it's like the Beatles.
In London, I'm like having to go like this, but everywhere else, it's completely tough. Yeah. There must be a lot of like Jewish women who have sex at Shivas. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And they all live in London.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to be clear, your question for Rachel is what?
My question for Rachel is, people have said that you, from a young age, were very unapologetically ambitious. Where did that come from, or how did you learn to be that way? Where did that instinct, where was the through line?
Great question. Okay, and then the last thing I'll say is there any story you want me to prompt Rachel to tell? Because she's a very good storyteller, I've noticed, on these kind of things.
I'd love for you to ask her about the first time that she was fingered.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. It's an incredible story. And she used to do it and I'd also love you to ask her if she'll come back to stand up.
Great. So did she tell her fingering story on stage? Okay, yeah. Great.
It's not like a violation. Yeah. You can say that Molly or like someone was bringing up, some of your first pleasuring experience or whatever, but But I think her and I need to get back to stand up. I know they're famous actors now, but it's like, come on, we got to see you on stage.
I know, they're so funny, and stand up is so it is like, I want to talk to her about it because, as you know, like, and you know from being on stage, like if you can be on stage and hang in there, you build a muscle where you can kind of you can handle almost anything.
Yeah.
It's so good talking to you. You've in the course of us talking, your hair has looked incredible down and also looks incredible up.
I have to be honest, it's a gorgeous updo. It's so dirty,
but it's really
stunning.
It is stunning.
And then you've got like perfect.
It looks like you're just ready to walk out into the streets of London and just be mobbed.
I gotta get to London. I just gotta get to London. It's so crazy. All right, have a class.
Okay, thank you so much. It was so fun talking to you.
Bye.
Bye. This episode is brought to you by Visible. When your phone's plan's as good as Visible, you've got to tell your people. It's the ultimate wireless hack to save money and still get great coverage and a reliable connection. Get one-line wireless with unlimited data and hotspot for $25 a month, taxes and fees included, all on Verizon's 5G network. Plus now, for a limited time, new members can get the Visible plan for just $19 a month for the first 26 months. Use promo code SWITCH26 and save beyond the season. It's a deal so good, you're going to want to tell your people. Switch now at visible.com. Terms apply, limited time offer subject to change. See visible.com for plan features and network management details. This episode is brought to you by L'Oreal Paris. Younger looking skin seems to take a million products these days. You've got to hand it to the Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer by L'Oreal Paris. It reduces wrinkles, firms, and brightens all in one. It's like 3 steps of your routine morphed into one super powered moisturizer. You're out the door faster, your bathroom is less cluttered, and your skin youthful as ever. Revitalize your skincare routine and your complexion with the Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer by L'Oreal Paris. Order now on Amazon. How do you like the height of this chair as a fellow shorty?
I love it. I love it. And I love that we're both short.
Me too.
I always talk about, like, is it a short set or a tall set?
It's very true because we can't reach things. Things are too high for us. And also, I don't like feeling short.
No.
If that makes sense.
Right now I'm feeling very tall.
Okay, good.
I'm feeling 5'6". We're both giving 5'6" right now.
We are?
Yeah.
That's my dream. 5'6" is my dream, actually.
Me too.
I'm with Rachel Sennott. She is here. Rachel, I'm so happy that you're here.
I am so happy that you're here, and so is my entire family. My dad was freaking out, and he was like,
"Tell me about your dad."
I'm addicted to him. I love my dad.
Okay, this is what is so incredible about people in their 30s. They love their parents.
You take a journey, and I literally just turned 30 like a couple weeks ago, and I looked. It's almost like you have to like go away and be like,
yes.
I'm an adult. Like, you don't even fucking know me. Like, and then I like something shifted, and you're like, you're my friends.
You know what? That's actually, I do want to talk about that. That's actually really deep. It does happen. In your 20s, you have to kind of separate.
Yes.
And it's painful.
It's painful.
Was it painful for you?
Yes, and I'm like scared because I know of everything I've done. I'm like, both of my parents are absolutely listening to every second of this.
Okay.
Other things, they're like, we'll skip that one. So I'm like, let me tread carefully.
Tell me about your parents. What are they like? What did they do? What was their job? Because here's one of my highest compliments.
Yes.
You seem like a Manhattan nepo baby, and you're not.
Girl, don't flirt with me. Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. I am maybe an insurance nepo baby, basically, in that my dad works in insurance, and he did hook me up with car insurance multiple times. Because I was driving around with a car with no insurance, getting in car accidents, and he was like, let me help you.
He was like, this is what I do.
This is what I do. So my parents both were accountants, and they met when they were both accountants at the same firm. And then fell in love, dated secretly.
Fun.
Because they were sort of like, we got to keep it low key. Which like you...
They're like, we don't want it to mess with the numbers.
We don't want it to mess with
We
the
don't want our
numbers.
romance to get like to screw up the numbers.
Literally.
Yeah.
By the way, when they got married, they got a mug that said, which doesn't make sense, a mug that said, beware of accountants, they multiply. Which I'm like, they don't. You two were already accountants and then you got together and none of your 5 children are accountants.
Well, excuse me, 5 children.
5
That's
children.
a lot of children.
Yeah.
Where are you in the birth order of that?
I'm second oldest.
Okay.
So they fell in love and they just started.
They multiplied.
They multiplied. They started popping them out. And I will say, I feel like they having 5 or 4 siblings, but being in a big family is a huge part of who I am because I think it's like automatically you have so many different personalities. It's like if you put us all together, there's like you could kind of make connections between like pairs, but some of it is really random. Like where you're like, all of you guys. And I think like my parents did a really good job raising us and sort of like taking everyone, basically like not putting anyone's needs above another, like everyone's career and what everyone does is equally important. And like you sort of had to like, you know, shout at the dinner table to be heard.
Yeah.
And like you automatically have to compromise because it's like there's no way everyone's going to be happy all the time. There's 5 people.
You have 2 very right-brained parents, it sounds like, too. Like, so are you and you have pursued a very artistic path in your family with the siblings? Does it go either way? There's some people that are like strong in STEM and numbers people and other people that are artists?
I would say we've got, I'm going to say 3 artists. But because I'm going to say my mom
secret
artist, like she did like my first play ever with me. I was like, I really want to audition for a play. And she was like, I'll audition with you.
This is so different.
So different. And she like sings and like plays piano. So it's like, I feel like the art was there. My dad, not an artist, but like trying to make everyone else do art. So he like forced me and my siblings to like play in a quartet for our family.
That's very mathy. That's very numbery.
Yes. Like you will play.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Music and instruments is still like.
Still kind of mathy.
An accountant stream.
That's totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Versus whatever the hell I'm doing. It's a little more lefty-loosey.
Well, what I love about what you just said, because it does feel like you grew up in a family where you had to kind of, you know, you just have to make space for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out. Like you said, you have to kind of compete in a healthy way.
Yes.
Or not healthy. One of the things that I love about you, not knowing you, we're meeting for the first time, is that there's something about the way that you are in your own experience, like your own body, that's very grounded and very self-assured. And it's kind of like you have it or you don't. It's like this ineffable thing where you just, you make us lean into you, Rachel. Like you're kind of yourself in real time, and we all become very interested and curious about it. Like there's not a grasping energy from you. You're kind of doing your thing, and people are like invited to come along. And
that's really nice of you to say, and that means a lot coming from you, because I feel like it's like in comedy. And like, I read your book, I read Tina's book when I was like in college and starting stand up. And like, I feel like, especially when I think to like the beginning, when you're like not the first women in comedy, but like you're forming a group. Like, I feel like my friend group took so much inspiration from you guys of being like, I've got my girls, you know what I mean? And being like, I'll go to the weird open mic with you and the whatever. But like, carving out that space for yourself and being like, you come to us, as opposed to like trying to be a part of the other thing that you're like not necessarily invited to.
So let's get into, okay, we talked about your parents. You're in Connecticut. You grow up in Connecticut. And again, you seem like a Manhattan kid. Congrats.
Thank you.
Connecticut is a strange state because it's like where is it?
Who is it
Where is
that's
it?
happening?
Right. Like
Yeah,
Red
what's-
Sox, Yankees, like what do you want?
Okay, and thank you for asking that. Red Sox.
Yes.
Red
excellent.
Sox. I
Okay.
got actually like absolutely, my dad reamed my ass because I put on my boyfriend's Yankees cap. I just thought it would be a little flirty. And I picked up a FaceTime from my dad and he was like, take that off right now.
Yeah.
Take
that's
that off
not,
right now.
That's not okay.
You can't do it.
No,
you
that's
can't
not
do
okay.
it. It's not
So
cool.
you're more on the Boston side.
Yes.
But you grow up there and you get to NYU.
Yes.
Where is that jump from you like at the dinner table being funny with your family and deciding I want to get to NYU and like be a performer? How does that happen?
So I always wanted to like perform. I feel like I did the classic thing.
Well, wait,
of-
you were in plays.
I was doing plays.
You were in Les Mis.
I was in Les Mis.
What-
Wow. Yes, it was.
What part?
I was Madame Thénardier, of course.
Wait, who?
She,
You just said it in a French way.
Madame Thénardier. She was sort of, do you know the master of the
Yeah.
house? His wife.
Oh, the master of the house lady.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I
So-
should know her
no,
name.
she
had the-
is master of the house lady.
You had the comedic part.
Yes, I had the comedic part. And anytime I was in a play in high school, they were like, that's a witch or the head of the prostitute house. Like it was like, that was the only parts I was getting cast in.
Why do you think that was? Why, as a little kid, did they? Because
Yeah, I know. I know.
But I kind of know what you mean because
Yes.
it's usually the comedic part.
Yes.
Why were they like seeing some like did you have like a maturity in that age or you just like self-assured on stage? You know what I mean? Like not nervous?
I think it was like I was not vocally talented and loud. And I think loud. And I think like, I don't know. I'm like, it was always like, and you're the ratty little whatever. And I'm like, okay. Because at that time I was like, obviously I want to be Cosette. I want to be
Right.
Eponine. I want to be
Of
like
course.
singing the pretty little voice.
Mm-hmm.
They heard me sing 3 bars. They said,
But you're
going to speak
and
the
they're-
whole song.
and they're usually the most boring of the songs.
They are.
I mean,
They
even
are.
though Eponine has some great songs,
Yeah, agree.
Cosette
Yeah.
has some great songs.
Yes.
Les
No,
Mis is
shout
incredible.
out.
Yeah.
They're bangers.
But-
and by the way, the girl who played Eponine in my high school like went on to play Eponine on Broadway. And I was like,
Wow.
you know, Emily Bautista, I gotta hand it to you. You were meant for the part. Voice of an angel. Incredible.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm not taking it personally.
But can we talk for a second about loud?
Loud.
Because I'm relating. Like I was a loud kid.
Yeah.
And there's something like underneath being like a loud young kid
Yeah.
that's kind of can be very exciting, especially if you're like a young woman. Not
Yeah.
always. Sometimes people don't like it. They make you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But it's like carving out space, like taking up space.
Yes.
Somehow. And people saw that in you.
Yeah, and they were like, she's not afraid
Mhm.
to, I guess that, or they were just literally like, we can't get her to shut up. Like, just give her this part and maybe she'll lose her voice yelling on stage and then she won't be like annoying at home. But I do think you're right. It's like, you have to sort of like be loud first and
Yeah.
then figure out how to make it like entertaining as you go.
Mhm.
But I think once you like break that, I feel like I've always had like a loud laugh, which like I've read
Yes,
about
I
like
do
your
too.
laugh at the table reads
Yeah.
at SNL and whatever. And it's like, I think like not being afraid to like bring joy into the space or be like, I don't know, once you start shouting, you're like, I'm not gonna talk quiet. Like it's just you break into that space and then you can refine what you're saying or how funny it is or whatever. But I think like that instinct was always there.
Yeah.
of
And
loud.
that brings you to NYU.
Yes.
Where you kind of join this class of people who are now your friends and successful actors and actresses in their own right who you
Yeah.
meet. Like tell us about coming to NYU, like those early days there.
I think I at first felt like I didn't fit in at all and I had like a really hard time because the acting program was very like serious and it was very like Shakespeare and like we're like walking around the room and you're a cat and then you're like a chicken. And I was like, but everyone's like crying while they do it. And I'm like, what?
And you're like, what am I missing?
What am I missing?
Yeah.
The money is gone. We've paid. So I got to do something with this. But wow, this is crazy. Like it was that I was scared. And I just felt, and do you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
and you're looking around and everyone's like so locked into it. So you're like, there's something wrong with me.
Do you think they were locked into it, or was it like peer pressure to feel locked into it?
Now it feels like a cult a little, where everyone was like, I'm crying as the chicken. I'm feeling things like,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
But I felt like there were a lot of opportunities that the school had, which was like the plays, the school did shows that you could audition for. I didn't get into any of those. The school had like improv and sketch groups. I didn't get into any of those.
Ah, really?
Really?
Dang, I bet they're regretting that.
Probably not. They're probably like, well, another year of doing our sketches.
I'm really surprised.
I didn't, and Io Debris, who I met, didn't either. And that's when we first met, was like at the auditions for those groups.
Sometimes that's just the best motivator.
Literally. By the way, I'm like, I always need, whenever like something doesn't work out for me, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like,
rejection is God's protection.
period. And also, it's like, whenever I'm flopping, I'm not scared. It's when I'm doing well or that I'm happy and when I'm terrified.
Okay, that is the best way to say it, Rachel, is that to flop and not be scared.
To flop and not be scared.
That's a very powerful thing. It's a superpower if you can do it.
Because the best things happen to me right after I'm at rock bottom. Like whenever I'm like rejected hard, whenever like I'm like in love with someone who like is treating me like garbage, that's when I fly. That's when, because you sort of like let go of everything and you're like, fuck it, I'm at rock bottom, I don't care, let's go. That's a beautiful time. It's when I'm soaring that I start, I'm like, I'm soaring. The ground is really far away. I'm gonna fall. Like, and then I get in my head, and that's when,
So you are auditioning, you and Io both not making what you want to make. What happens then?
Then I think that's when I started being like, okay, I have to find my own opportunities. And I think that's sort of when I like started to find my friends and my community and doing stuff on our own. So I started doing stand-up.
So tell us about your first...
Yeah,
because you were on a date. Is that true?
Yeah. So basically, this poor guy is like,
he's also in Les Mis.
He was also in Les Mis. No, I feel bad because I'm like it's like I still know him. He is like a comedy producer, or whatever. Great guy, but he basically, we went on like. I want to call it a date, but it was like really like we went to the dining hall and then he like fingered me, but it was I'm like that was our date. But he's a lovely person. He's a lovely person. That's just college, you know. But do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes that just happens. But so he was like, you should do stand up. I've been going to open mics. Do you want to come with me to one? And so
wait, and he was going to perform.
And he performed. He did perform.
Okay, so he was like, do you want to come watch me perform?
He was like, do you want to come watch me perform, but do you want to go too?
Do you want to go too?
Yes.
And try it.
He encouraged.
Got it.
Shout out. He encouraged. So we go to an open mic, and I think I did stand up about like him fingering me like 2 days before. So I was just like, I have no experiences other than this. It's like pretty, like I'm still like a freshman. Like I'm
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you talked about? Would you be okay to tell us that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is where I got into something that I think I've hopefully grown out of, but the fingering was weird. And then my first joke, which I think he helped me write, was that it was like, or maybe my friend Moss helped me write this part. Moss Perricone, very funny stand-up and writer on SNL.
Who I just got to work with recently because I was just there and it was really fun to
He's
work
lovely.
with him.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
So Moss and I would do open mics together too. So I think Moss actually helped me write this part of the joke, which was that like he was fingering me and it was like trying to trick a vending machine.
joke.
Great joke.
Great joke.
That I think all I brought to the story was like, it kind of hurt. And then he like helped me write that part.
Yeah.
But I did that. And I got like, it's like your first open mic, you go on stage and you're like, also I'm like 18 years old at like a random open mic with like guys from New Jersey. And I'm like, hi, it's my first open mic. So obviously like everyone, the room was
warm.
The room was warm.
Mm-hmm.
It was toasty.
Yeah.
So I go
filled with perverts.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So, and at the time I'm like, I'm a genius saying a joke I didn't write in a room full of 6 perverts who are all just like, maybe she'll only be here for 1 week and she'll kiss one of us.
Totally.
So at the time I'm thinking like, I'm crushing.
Yeah.
I am crushing. So I do that joke, whatever, and I get that like high of performing.
Totally.
And then like for the next like 2 years of open mics, I'm really bad, but I am like chasing that initial high of performance.
Yes, and when you were doing stand up, like were you feeling like there was a party that was like I'm going to be a stand up? Like I'm going to be a stand up? Or did you feel like stand up was a tool or like a stepping stone to what you wanted to do, which was write, act, direct, all the stuff you're doing now?
I think like a little bit of both. I think in the beginning I was like, I just want to do whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
And like you can do an open mic for like $5. You buy like a beer or something and you can do an open mic. So I was like, okay, I can do this. And I did that. I did like every student film exercise that I could do. There is like, I have like a whole reel of like some of the worst dialogue in history. No hate, but it was really like I would do them like back to back to back, and I would like skip class to do all these films. But then also I met talented filmmakers that way. I met my friend Emma Seligman and
who directed
Shiva Baby and Bottoms.
Yes.
And so I was doing that, and then like I started writing sketches. Io and I did a sketch together. That's sort of like one of my early memories of us like forming a bond because she was so funny, and I was like, I was laughing the entire sketch. Completely unusable takes for me, but I was like cracking up at her, and then like I wrote a sketch that these sketches about the Babysitters Club that she was in. And then we performed on each other's shows. So it was like, I was slowly like building out the community of like friends. So it was like, I met Io, Moss, my friend Katerina, who's a writer director, Emma. So it was like, I felt like I got to like build out my community.
I mean, that's what it kind of feels like the 20s are about.
Yeah.
Is like figuring out who is like me.
Yes.
How can we help each other out? Like, how can I form some kind of community to get me through the next X amount of years, like of trying to do the thing that I want to do. Yeah. And when you were in that period in your 20s, like, well, I mean, you just said that you turned 30.
I just did.
What did you do for your 30th birthday? How did you celebrate it? Because I got to tell you, my vision of you is that you're partying every night. Am I wrong?
Sometimes, but okay, so many things to say.
Okay.
First, I just have to say, do you know about your Saturn return?
Not only that, but I believe that I'm going to, in just a year or two, be entering my second.
Oh my
Because
God.
I've been doing research for this because of your show, because I love LA, which we're going to talk about. And it's all about Saturn's return, which you just went through.
I did.
And I believe you go through a second one I'm 54, but I think you start going through a second one like 56, 57.
Are you scared?
I could look it up, but
Are you scared or excited?
I'm excited.
You're excited.
Very excited.
Because it does, I will say it's nice, back to the rock bottom thing.
Yeah.
When life sort of like
Yes.
shakes you up and you're
Yes.
like, whatever, let's rock.
How did it shake you up?
Okay, I feel like it was like, the whole thing is like 3 years long, but there's really like 1 month that's like super chaotic. Or for me, there was like a month where that was like really bad. And I felt like everything all happened in 1 month. But basically, like, I feel like in my early 20s,
Mhm.
I was partying every night.
Mhm.
I was like very messy, chaotic. I was like crying at the bar on the table. Like it was really crazy.
Yep.
Then I feel like I moved to LA and I got really like a little weird and like hermity and like kind of, I don't know. I went through this thing where I was just not feeling good in myself. Like the strike was happening. I was really depressed. And I think I also like had a lot of insecurities about like myself as a writer or creator.
Mhm.
Like I didn't think I could like make something on my own and I was really scared to.
Mhm.
And then I think like basically the big part of the Saturn return was like I went through a breakup
Mhm.
and I didn't know about if my show was going to get picked up yet.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, I had to sort of say no to other opportunities, which was
Right.
really hard for me, especially because I think I defined myself off of my work and my value off of my work. And so I was like, I have to say no to stuff and like trust my gut that this is going to happen and that I can make something on my own.
Mm.
And when I say on my own, literally I made it with an amazing room of writers, amazing co-showrunner, directors, blah,
Of
blah,
course,
blah.
but women always feel obliged to say that, and they don't have to.
But it was,
But you know,
I take it back. I fucking take it back.
Because no, you're absolutely right. Nobody does anything alone.
Yeah.
Nobody does anything alone. But you're making a really interesting point, which is like, which I see this in you and women that you're coming up with, which is this, this moment where you have to kind of decide to take ownership of the stuff that you want to make.
Yeah.
And decide that you're ready to do it.
Yes, because I think like it's also like you can't do anything until you do it. Like it's like I directed an episode. You just have to direct one day and be like, okay. Like obviously you prepare and you write.
Of course.
You draw the little pictures.
Yeah,
of
you make the
all the
pictures, yeah.
things. Of what,
You
yeah.
write the list.
And you go, I think the shirt should be blue.
Well, that's the thing about directing, and I want to talk to you about this because you've been I love how you talk about directing and producing and writing and show running, which is, people act like everything is like a secret room. Like we learned this from Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like that, like there's a room where it happens and only certain people are allowed in it. And there's a language and a vocabulary and only one way to do something. And it keeps people out of the room.
Yes, totally. And then you get in the room and it's like three guys being like, I think we should shoot it really slow. I think we should do it really fast. And you're like, this is what they're saying? This is what they're saying in here?
Totally.
You're kidding me. And they have snacks? They're ordering like 3 rounds of coffees to say, I think we should shoot it slower. I got pissed. Actually, honestly, the first time I got in there.
It's incredible once you get inside the room.
And then you get a high and then you're like, I'm staying in here and I'm ordering 10 coffees and we're shooting it fast and then slow.
So you're going through your Saturn's return.
Yes.
You come out the other side and you greet 30.
Yes.
Do you party on your 30th birthday?
I do party on my 30th.
That's what
I do.
thought.
Sorry.
That's what I
that
thought.
was that.
Okay.
I do party.
What does that look like?
I went to Sicily.
Amazing.
For my friend's wedding.
Okay, great.
And I really partied there.
Great.
And then I stayed there for the week.
Perfect. This is what I
And-
expected,
yes.
Rachel. I'm happy to hear this.
And I really went off.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fabulous. And it was good. It was good because I feel like I've been working for so long.
Yeah.
Like I went into the hole of making the show.
Yeah.
And now I'm out every night. I'll tell you that. I am. I'm going to a concert tonight if you want to come.
Where are you going?
I'm going to see, do you know that girl Adela?
No.
I
wish I did.
You're
Do
gonna
you, Jenna?
I'm like that
Okay.
song, Sex on the Beat. You gotta get onto
Oh
that.
my God, I'm so old. Adela.
You'll
it's her
love.
concert?
It's her concert, and I'm going, and I can't wait. And then I'm going to. This is the other thing. Tell me if you do this. When
She's a Slovakian singer-songwriter?
yes,
Very cool.
she's very cool.
cool.
So I'm going to that tonight, but I do this thing when I'm like shooting something where it's like you put off every single person in your life.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
You make promises you can't keep,
Mhm.
which is like you're like, yeah, when this is over, I am gonna be out. I am gonna be
Yeah.
just going to the club and then dinner and then we should go on a hike the next morning really early. Like I make so many promises and then it's like you get into a social debt, but it's actually kind of fabulous because then you just commit to a period where you're like,
So
let's go.
You're in that period
I'm
right
in
now.
it.
So tonight is it dinner first? I love talking to people about plans because I don't want to do them, but I want to hear your plans.
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know what you're doing tonight.
Okay, so the plan is we're doing a group dinner.
Amazing. Where?
At my boyfriend's house. We're ordering food.
Fun.
So we have a small group going.
Yep.
We're pre-gaming.
What time is this?
This is probably 8 o'clock.
Fuck.
That's okay.
Just dinner?
I know. I like an early dinner too.
Okay.
But it's sort of like, if we do dinner too early, then we're going to get sleepy before the show.
Right.
So we got to sort of, what I'm thinking instead
keep
is like
it up.
when it should be dinner, that's when I'll be taking a nap.
Yeah.
And then, but of course I'll be sleeping with my glam on because I want to keep it for the show. So I'll be sleeping like this.
Like a soap opera star.
Like a soap opera star, glam on, like this, getting lipstick on the pillow. And then I'll jerk awake, 7:45, Listerine, swishing around.
Yes.
Bam. Dinner, people start arriving. Dinner.
Order in. No cooking.
No cooking. We're no cooking. For that many people? 6. That's crazy. Cooking for 6 people?
That's outrageous.
What?
What are you, some kind of machine?
No!
You can't cook for 6 people? No way. No.
I only know how to make sweet potatoes and ground turkey, and then we're gonna be burping garlic all over the art hose at the concert. I can't do that.
No.
So
then you eat.
Then we eat, and it's like, drinking a little. Maybe I'm trying on outfits. Maybe I'm leaving dinner, coming back, presenting an outfit to the group.
That's fun.
Yeah, can be fun.
Okay.
Do you do that?
No, I don't, but I in general have a weird relationship to outfits.
Really?
That I'm very, very intrigued by your relationship to outfits. Because for me, outfits, like I don't have the feeling like I'll use my good friend Maya Rudolph as an example. When Maya Rudolph gets dressed and she gets to change, she would love to do that. What you're doing, like come in and out of the room with different outfits and be like, look at my outfit.
What do we
Look
think?
at my outfit. That to me feels so stressful.
Do you know what you should do? Do you like to smoke weed?
I don't really smoke it anymore, but I will.
Okay. For this, or it could be a glass of wine, or it could be a little CBD joint or whatever.
Sure, I'd rather weed over wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a
Let's do
weed.
like a gummy.
Let's do a gummy.
Okay, all right.
You knock back a gummy.
Okay.
Now I kind of think it's good to do this like on your own.
Okay.
Because then and like maybe
by myself?
Yes.
Okay.
Start by yourself because then you're not doing it for anyone. Or you better believe I'll come over. I'm in my social chapter. I'm free. So
I'm already worried that you're overbooking yourself. Don't promise that. Okay.
But I'm just saying.
Okay.
I would say do it in like the daytime. Gummy, iced coffee. So that you're kind of your body's fighting itself.
Okay, I'm in my apartment. It's blazing sun, gummy and iced coffee. 2:00 in the afternoon. I just cancel all my plans. And what do I do next? I go to my closet. Play an elevator, getting really high from the coffee and then getting really down from the gummies. Then what do I do?
Put on music.
Okay, music. What do I play?
I think it's like something really like ethereal fun.
Okay.
Like, you make me feel like dancing. Okay. I'm just kind of telling you about a Saturday that I had like a week ago.
Okay, perfect.
And then you just start trying shit on.
Okay.
And you throw stuff on the floor and you take pictures with stuff.
Ooh.
And it's like, and maybe like halfway through you stop, you order some food. And it's like, and by the way, you're not picking up any of the clothes till the next day when you're not high in the gummy anymore.
That's going to be really hard for me.
Okay.
But that's okay.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's no I'm cleaning. There's no I'm organizing. You're playing. You're trying stuff on. And you should also have a mirror with really good light. This is why I'm saying the daytime, because in my house, I have a mirror that only looks good at a certain time. So you can take this and, zhuzh it for like your vibe.
Okay.
But this is just for me.
This is actually really helpful because it is about like what you're talking about is about play.
Yes.
Like not making everything so serious.
Not making everything so serious. And it's like you can take pictures of stuff, or lots of times I'll do videos of me like walking and then walking to the camera and back, and then I text them all to my sisters and I go like, heart, which ones you like.
Okay,
And
this feels like a very sister thing.
yeah.
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 Like what sisters do for each other.
Yes. And then you can get feedback, and then they can be like, drop the vest, keep the scarf.
Right.
You know?
And do you take that feedback? Do you go?
Depends.
Depends.
Because it's like, sometimes I'm like, you don't know, this is a really good outfit. And then and sometimes sometimes you'll try on an outfit that you created that day. That's inventing outfits.
This feels like level 2. I feel like I'm at level 2 right now. I just need to start. Start by taking the gummy during the day.
Just start by taking the gummy. Just start by getting high in the morning, and then work your way up to all of this.
Okay, you and your sisters.
Yes.
Make me think about the women that you have like kind of like your chosen sisters. Like you said, Io.
Yes.
And another chosen sister is Molly.
Yes. Love Molly.
Molly Gordon, who we spoke to for this interview.
I love her. I just talked to her last night.
She said you guys talk every day.
Yeah.
She called you her wife.
Wife, sister, which is weird, but we like 5 different things.
So for people who like are getting, because I think like there's a lot of people who are getting to know your work, Molly's work, Io's work. Like you are this rising class, I think, of really, really talented artists and filmmakers and showrunners and writers and actors. But Shiva Baby was a film that you and Molly did together that was this teeny tiny film that really like exploded and took off. Can you talk a little bit about the path of that?
Yes. So that was a crazy experience, and it's crazier now looking back at it. Because it was first a short film that Emma Seligman wrote and directed that I was in. And it got into South by, and after it got into South by, Emma was like, I still remember it was like Emma and I like met up at a dig-in. Dig-in.
What's a dig-in?
Oh my God.
At a dig-in?
A dig-in. It's a fast casual lunch place. It's like a
dig-in is a restaurant.
It's like a Sweet Green. It's like a sister of a Sweet Green.
Sweet Green was brought up earlier because Molly was like, that's a nice place to go to the bathroom. They're usually nice at a Sweet Green.
They'll let you.
So dig-in, is that an LA thing?
No, it's a New York thing.
Oh my God, I don't know it. Okay, good to know.
I think they have them here too, but there was really a chapter where it was big. In New York when we were in college. So we meet at a dig-in, we're catching up, and Emma is like, I'm gonna make Shiva Baby into a feature. And that's also the same day that we came up with the loose idea for Bottoms, and we started writing it.
Wow.
So we're writing Bottoms while Emma's also writing Shiva Baby. And like basically it was like this like slow process of building the movie out. And it's like no one wants to make a first-time filmmaker's movie. It's like so impossible to get people behind you. And it was sort of like this game of like, we're trying to cast the movie. We don't have the money for the movie. I wanted to shout out Rhiannon Jones, who was one of the producers who was like the first person to like be like, I'm giving you guys money to make this movie, and gave like a big chunk of money. It was like a super indie movie. I think the budget was around like $200K, but it's like, that's really hard to raise that money when you are college students and all you have is a short film to prove. So it's like, I remember like talking with Emma, and we're like trying to cast the movie without the money, get the locations, but get the funding at the same time. So it was all of that. And when Molly signed on to do it, it felt like, oh my God, like she's legit. Because we had both seen her in Booksmart and been like, she is so funny. So funny, and like she's a real actress.
I mean, that's exactly what she was talking about. Like she said, when you guys met, you were like, you're a real actress. And she
help us.
Yeah, but I relate because when you come through the door of like comedy, you often feel like that's just kind of like you've always, that's the door you've always come through. And it takes a minute to figure out that, you know, everyone is talented at a lot of things.
Yeah.
So were you feeling then insecure about your acting or anything? Or
Definitely.
you were?
I
Okay.
was, because I had never been, I was all of a sudden the lead of a film
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't fully funded yet and didn't have a location. Like, it was so, like, it was like, I think we got the rest of our funding like a day before we shot the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And basically we go to film the first scene and it's me and Molly, and I clam up and I just whisper.
Oh, you
Yeah,
whisper.
I whispered.
Right. Because, you know, sometimes when we're really nervous, we get like very sleepy and tired and quiet.
Really. And I'm like, no one can tell if I'm doing a bad job if they can't hear me or see me. So it's like the first thing we film is that scene where we like run into each other. We talk for the first time at the Shiva. And I'm like, it's good to see you. And it's like, Emma's like, cut. And so then Emma like pulls me aside because they're an amazing friend and director. And they're like, so we can't hear anything. We can't hear a word that you're saying. And I'm like, totally. Did this in private, thank God. And did it really nicely, but was like, I think just like maybe have a little more voice. And I was like, totally. We go again and I'm like, so good to see you. And I was like sweating.
This is so interesting because we started talking about like
How
little Rachel on stage being loud, and then you have this moment you're like, okay, now I'm a real actor, and now
It's
I'm going to
gone.
get very quiet.
So gone.
I'm actually going to do it's like I'm not going to pitch my fastball. I'm going to do the opposite of what I do well.
I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
Go.
It would
I'm
be
gonna
like
roll
the
it.
mound. We'll keep
The
the
mound.
baseball.
The
Your dad
yeah.
and the Red Sox would want to know that you can extend that baseball metaphor. So it would be
On the mound.
on the
On the mound. We're sports.
Yeah. So but that's so interesting. So then what happens?
And then I think Molly basically was like, she like charmed the pants off of me basically and was like, she just started improvising and talking to me and talking before we were rolling.
Mhm.
And I didn't feel like I was in a scene anymore. I felt like I was like talking to her and flirting with her, but feeling like, and it just, it clicked for me. And like between Molly and Emma coming, and then it was like we got into a groove, and then Emma came over and was like whispering stuff in my ear of like, really like make her work for it on this one, or like give in on this one, giggle on this one. And
let's move the camera slower on this one.
Let's camera slower on this one.
And faster on
fast,
this one.
really fast. And then Molly was like improvising, and like I just felt like basically I just felt like so like brought into the space, and then I felt like I know how to do this. But it was like, I think I just watched both of them like shine and like bring me into their like artistry is like a big word, but I kind of felt like they both were like, come here, you can do this. And like anyways, it really like opened everything up for me, and it was really special.
Very cool.
Yes.
Now Molly had a question for you.
Okay.
And the first one was please have Rachel tell the fingering story, which you already told naturally.
I did it on my own. Wow. Huge.
Incredible. So thank you for that. And then and she basically said, you know, when she met you, that what she was so drawn to, and what I feel drawn to you right now, I'm feeling the same thing, which is you're like the great audacity of here's what I want to do. I want to do this. I want to do this. Like ambition, not being afraid of it, like feeling like you want to take up a lot of space. And she said that confidence, like, have you always had that? The question is like, where do you think that came from?
It's interesting because I look back at myself at that time, and I think I was very insecure and anxious, but at the same time, I did always have this feeling of like, I have to do this. And I think that's from my family for sure. Like, I think it's like, there was like this thing of like, okay, if you're going to do it, then do it. And I think like in my mind, I was like, I can't even entertain the possibility of not doing this because I don't have any other plan.
There's never a job you would want to do instead of this? Did you ever think about like another major or another job other than insurance salesman or accountant?
Yeah. I think now that I'm here, I'm like, I would love to do marketing. I love marketing.
Wait, what do you mean?
I just love marketing. I just started getting on marketing calls and I'm like, these girls are fabulous. They're just so, I'm just like, I love marketing.
You like figuring out how to get the message out.
Yes.
You're very good at marketing. You're very good at TikTok. You're very good at Twitter.
And you better believe I have sounds saved for us.
For our TikTok?
Yeah. If you're down.
I have a TikTok question for you. How do you get your TikToks to move so fast?
You make it slow. I'll show you. Wait, do you ever do slow-mo so then it speeds it up?
No.
We'll do that today.
You shoot it in slow-mo?
You shoot it, yes. So it shoots in, so the sound.
Are we talking about a cap cut situation?
No.
Oh, fantastic.
I won't do that to you. I will not do that to you.
Someone's laughing.
Claire is laughing because I had her help me with doing what I've always wanted to do, which is green screen. Basically, I'm talking in front of a picture.
That's what I want to do, and I don't know how to do it.
I just learned it. I can show you. I can show you today. I can show you. I just found out how. Claire taught me, and now I can teach you.
Okay, we might have to do that for
We
our
have
TikTok.
to do that.
Is talk about ourselves in front of a picture.
In front of a picture.
Yeah.
We could even take a photo of us pose, and then we can analyze like our outfits. We could do anything. We can do whatever we want. It's so fun.
It's so fun. Why is it fun? Because I think it's fun too. Why do you think it's fun?
I feel like I'm playing with clay and dough.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm like Play-Doh. I feel like I'm doing crafts. And then afterwards you get to watch it over and over and go, I made that. I did that just now. It's so fun.
It is so fun.
And the noises and the colors, it's just the best.
But it makes sense to me because you definitely have this sense of knowing how to exist in that space. And it kind of comes back to you just like being authentically yourself, which is just hard to teach. You know?
You just gotta rock it, I guess.
You do.
But sometimes things happen. I don't know if you've had this where it's like you're like, okay, I'm being authentically myself. I'm being authentically myself. And then these are two things that have happened to me. You're either being authentically yourself and everyone's like, we hate it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I should be someone else. I should be someone else. Or you're kind of being a version of yourself and everyone's like, we love it, slut. And then you change a little. I'm never going to stop being a slut, but something else.
Sure.
You know, you're like, I'm messy, I'm this, whatever. And then you go into a different zone and then you're like, but they still like that. I should keep doing that.
Yes.
But in reality, you're changing.
You are the generation that has grown up. Like, when did you get your first phone?
When I was in middle school.
Yeah. And you've had a lifetime of being online.
We talked about this a lot when we were creating the show. I think there's like a lot of times people like look at like, I'm going to say that my generation, I'm like zillennial cusp. So I'm not claiming
What do you
Gen Z.
claim? Do you claim Z or millennial?
I claim zillennial because I feel real, like I feel a bit of both. Do you know what I mean? When we start getting into Skibbity Toilet, I get lost.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what's going on? I didn't do kindergarten on Zoom. So you know what I mean? Like I didn't have, what is this called? When your brain fully develops?
Oh, your frontal lobe.
My frontal lobe. I think my frontal lobe developed like, what time does that happen? Halfway through COVID. Say COVID.
Weird time to have your frontal lobe closed during COVID.
During COVID. But I felt it.
Snatch. You were like, snatch.
Snatch. Yes. Yeah. And so I didn't have to go through like formative developmental years during COVID or whatever. I think there's something to do with that I don't have.
Right.
But we were just talking about 6, 7. I found out I'm in group 7 from TikTok.
I found out I was in group 7.
Group 7!
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, good.
And so if I was fully Gen Z, I would. Claire
Yeah.
explained it to me because she's 25.
Okay, Claire will explain.
Claire
and
will
she'll
explain.
show us how to do the green
How to
screen.
do the green screen.
Okay, let's talk about I
I'm
Love
so
LA.
sorry. I'm
Okay.
talking so much.
No,
I could
it's
just
so
talk
good.
forever.
Same.
But
And you have a great cast and you shoot it in LA. And do you love LA?
I do love LA.
Okay. Can you help me? Because I'm actually genuinely, I'm coming up on like year 15 or 16 of being here. And I go back and forth between LA and New York. And I'm not loving LA right now. LA is crushing me a little bit.
Okay.
I think I want to go back to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Like I really, my kids are almost out of school. I'm like feeling this giant pull and I'm trying to stay with LA because LA has been very good to me.
Yeah.
And there's a lot about it. I love California. There's a lot about Los Angeles. I have a lot of friends here. I've had great memories here. I made a lot of stuff I'm really proud of here. But I'm just like, what do you love about LA? And can you help me love it too?
Yes. I like LA most in the winter.
I do too.
It's the
my
best.
favorite. January to April is
heaven.
Because everywhere else is freezing.
Everywhere else is freezing. Meanwhile, we're going to the beach in an UGG and a hoodie. Beach in an UGG and a hoodie.
Yeah.
And you're getting, get this. Morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
Again, weed gummy coffee. Sorry. You don't have to, but you could do something
Who's
else.
driving?
Who's driving? Somebody's boyfriend.
Somebody's boyfriend is
Somebody's
driving. Okay,
boyfriend is
great.
driving.
Okay, I like
not
this.
us. Or you're getting in an Uber.
Okay.
But ideally, it's like someone's boyfriend is driving.
Okay.
Like the boyfriend of the friend group. He's driving.
Great.
Everyone.
I like this. Yeah.
And you've got a playlist.
Mhm.
You guys stop. You got bagels.
Okay. Not good bagels though in LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
go to Courage.
Okay. Great.
You go to Courage, or there's a place in Burbank called Hank's. Underrated. I'm actually giving away my spot, but
Okay.
I know you bitches aren't going to Burbank, so it's fine. It's okay. I work there, so I'm going. But
You worked at Hank's?
I work at the lot.
Oh, you work at the lot.
So
Okay,
I'm right
sorry.
nearby.
I was like, oh my God, you also work at Hank's? Okay.
I have 2 jobs.
Okay.
I have 3.
So you get your bagel.
So you get your bagel, and now you're eating your bagels in the car, or you save them. You get to the beach, you run on the sand. You're just sitting on the sand in like jeans and an UGG and a sweater.
Yeah,
And
I love the beach in a sweater.
Beach in a sweater. It's completely empty.
Yes.
Because no one else has this good of an idea except for us. And you're just like
Mhm.
you're having a beach day, but you're having a winter beach day. And you can make it into a thing like you could then you could go like up to Topanga Canyon and you could
Mhm.
buy a set of tarot cards for your friend and
Ooh.
go on a hike over there. There's like some really nice hikes in Malibu. There's like you could go to the pier. You could get like seafood at Broad Street Oyster Company, but like you make a day in the winter that you couldn't do somewhere else.
I completely
You know what
agree.
you know what I mean?
I think Los Angeles, California in the winter is where it really shines.
Is really where it shines.
The rest of the year is
Okay.
tough for me.
So what if you stuck around? We do like beach day in the day, weed gummy closet.
Yeah.
And it's like, by the way, we're in bed at 7 o'clock.
I don't believe you.
We will be. If we're starting the day with a weed
you
gummy, we're
already
in bed.
told me
at
about your
7
plans
o'clock.
tonight.
I know, but
I
that's because I'm
don't-
in a social chapter. But in January and February,
Okay, you're not in a social
February,
chapter?
we're hibernating. But we're hibernating with our friends.
Okay.
And our community. We're hibernating with like 6 people.
I
Or 3, if that feels better.
that actually really did make me like Los Angeles more. What you just said.
This is the thing. New York, bam, you're confronted with a new chapter or an event or whatever. And it's thrown in your face and it's fabulous and it's going like, wake up. You just met this person on the street.
Yeah.
LA, you have to do it a little for yourself, but you get to sit down in your room one day, delusional, me, this, alone, high in my closet. New era. Let's go.
Okay. Lightning round. Are
Lightning
you ready?
round. I'm walking in.
Have you done ayahuasca?
No, should I?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Are cigarettes making a comeback?
They are, but we have to stop, but they are.
They are.
And they're good. But also,
they're-
who can blame us? Look at what is happening.
I know.
I know. And they were feeding people the vapes at 12.
I know. The vapes hopefully are taking a break, but cigarettes are back.
Well, the cigarettes are people trying to wean off the vape.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Yeah.
That's like heroin to not take your oxy
Heroin
anymore.
to pill to
So
heroin
rough.
pills.
It's hard out there. Okay,
Okay.
album you're listening to right now.
I've been listening a lot to the Addison album.
Mm-hmm.
It's an album that makes me feel very like free. It makes me feel like my mom's friend who always wore yoga pants, who was like really chic
And sexy
and
and
sexy, and
kind
I was
of a little sleepy and in a dream.
and so free. I was like, yeah. Addison feels very like free to me.
Is there a person's career path that you look at and admire?
Definitely, I'm not being a suck up.
You can't see.
I'm not allowed? You're sitting right in front of me. What if I was like, I need an idea? Bam.
What if before this podcast, someone pulled you aside and said, like, when Amy asks that, you have to say her. She gets really upset.
And she gets really upset.
So, and you have to
that would be
pretend-
crazy if they said that. No, I do want to say, like, okay, so I'm sorry. I'll just say it and then we can cut it
Okay.
genuinely, and then I'll say someone else.
Okay.
But I do really want to say, like, genuinely, like, you have made a difference in my life going to pursue comedy and going to like be funny and be loud and be bold, like, and also be kind. Like, I feel like when I read your book, I was like, there was the ability to be like both like bold and loud, but also like vulnerable and sensitive. I think is that like sometimes it feels like you're not allowed to have both. And I feel like you need both and you should be able to. And that's something that I get from you or like am inspired by from you. And like, I think like the women, your community, like Maya Rudolph, Tina Fey, all of them.
Thank you, Rachel. That's really nice.
So that's true. But now, do you want me to say someone else? Okay. Brittany Murphy is an actress that I really look up to.
Wow.
I think she's an incredible actress. Or was an incredible actress.
Yeah.
She's just someone who, like, I saw her in, like, immediately, like, when I saw her in Clueless, I was like, she just has something special and she was very true to herself.
She was, she hosted SNL my first season there. And I remember her being like really kind, really super hardworking, very open to ideas. And you're right, she had like a sparkly, interesting quality about her. And she could do a lot of things really well.
Yes, like I feel like had so much range.
Yes.
And like, I don't know, I felt like there's certain people where it's like the character wouldn't be the character if it wasn't you playing it. And I feel like she has that, which is really special.
When was the last time you cried?
Yesterday, because this is the other thing. So I didn't cry for a speed round, but I'll say it really fast.
That's okay. I like speed rounds to go slow.
Yeah. I didn't cry for like a long time because I was so like stressed about the job and I was trying to take it seriously and be locked in. And I was like, there's no time to cry. There's no time to cry. And then I think now that I'm in my social era and I have like a little space to breathe, like the lid is coming off. So I'm just crying more freely. Yesterday, I sort of had a little bit of a manic episode. This goes back to the closet thing where I remembered a shirt from 3 years ago that I just was like, wait a second.
Where is it?
Where is that? And then I started like rummaging through my closet, not in a fun way, no weed gummy, just like panicked. Panicked, texting people pictures of the shirt, being like, have you seen this? I'm texting my mom, being like, is this at home? She's like, what? Like that.
What do you think the shirt meant? What was it when you thought of the shirt? Where had you worn it? What did it mean to you? What did it represent?
I think it was that I've been living in my place for too long, and I used to live there with my ex-boyfriend, and I moved around to Airbnbs before I lived in that place, and all of a sudden I was just like, where's all my stuff and who am I? And then I started to cry.
Yes. I think that objects can do that.
Yes.
And then the last question is, what are you listening to, watching? What do you do when you want to laugh? What kind of stuff do you do when you like need a break? Like when you want to get out of your head and just feel good.
And feel good. I have a couple of friends and my sisters where it's like we send each other like TikToks that are like really weird. And then like I catch up on all the TikToks that like my friends or my sisters sent me. And I like feel like I'm watching like their show, kind of the feed that they've curated for me. And then I reply to all of them like, haha, this is us when we're in the car with mom. This was us when we would go on a walk, drink whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fun and silly for me.
It's funny. It's like we do this at our work at our office at Paper Kite. We like show each other our feeds to see where everyone's heads are at.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes my kids will be like, "Mom, your feed is really sad." You know, like I'm like, "You're right. It's too sad.
It's too sad." But by the way, sometimes that's good because then you can go, I'm in a sad period right now.
Totally. I'm not in my social chapter.
I'm not in my social chapter.
So like, what is it? I'm just, as we finish, can you remember any TikTok that you enjoy that is funny?
Yes.
Oh my God, amazing. You want to show it to me?
I would love to.
Okay.
Let me go
I don't even know how to get TikTok on my laptop.
I was going to show you on my phone.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
So
what are we watching?
I'm just going through, let's look.
Okay, so how would you describe? Okay, this is incredible. Yes, this is incredible. This is a video of it says congratulations, it's a girl, and then it says the girl, and the girl's walking around wearing a giant pig head, holding a baseball bat. And
to a creepy little song.
To a creepy song. And she looks awesome.
This diva is, I'm like, she knows who she is already.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's
very,
very, very funny. Okay. And then we've got
Priest DJ.
A priest DJ.
You just feel like he has a hobby and a passion. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, he's having fun.
He is having fun, yeah. All right, Rach, I'm going to have you sit back in your chair so I can properly say thank you for coming and doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a damn delight.
Thank you so much, Rachel Sennott. That was so fun. You are a delight and so funny and charming, and I could have talked to you all day. And, you know, for this Polar Plunge, today's Polar Plunge is presented by Visible. When your phone plan's as good as Visible, you've got to tell your people. Unlimited data, just $25 a month. Join today at visible.com. So let's get into this plunge as we finish up this episode. We talked a lot today about Saturn's return. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically this period in astrology that occurs around the ages of like late 20s, late 50s, and late 80s. And it's when the planet Saturn returns to the same position that it was in when you were born. So we all went through it, or some of us went through it, or are going to go through it in our 20s. I'm just here to say I'm looking forward to the next return for me, the next change. I don't know what's around the corner. If life has taught me anything, it's that I cannot predict what is going to happen. But I look forward to the first human robot marriage on TV and that we will have run out of water and we'll be drinking other things during that return. So, but if anyone's going through Saturn's return right now in their 50s, write in and let me know how it's going for you, babe. Can't wait. Okay, today's Polar Plunge was presented by Visible. It's one-line wireless on Verizon's 5G network for $25 a month. That's top-tier network at a budget-friendly cost. Tell your people and make the switch. Terms apply. See visible.com for plan features and network management details. Thank you so much for listening. See you again soon. Bye. You've been listening to Good Hang. The executive producers for this show are Bill Simmons, Jenna Weiss-Berman, and me, Amy Poehler. The show is produced by The Ringer and Paper Kite. For The Ringer, production by Jack Wilson, Kat Spillane, Kaya McMullen, and Aleya Zenieris. For Paper Kite, production by Sam Green, Joel Lovell, and Jenna Weiss-Berman. Original music by Amy Miles.